Daily card highlight number 93. This one comes to you straight from the mouth of my cousin Dare Bear. He played this against me last night, and I really like it. Crown of Convergence from Ravnica City of Guilds is a rare for 26 cents, illustrated by Jen Page. Legal and Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, Oathbreaker, and Penny. Ran in 214 decks on EDH Rec. Crown of Convergence is 2 colorless for an artifact. Play with the top card of your library revealed. As long as the top card of your library is a creature card, creatures you control that share a color with that card get +1/+1. Pay 1 and a green. Put the top card of your library on the bottom of your library. This card's underran because your opponents know what you got. They know what's coming up. They know what you're going to be pulling off top. And I don't know if that's worth it for the bonuses it gives. I totally get where you're coming from, guy. I totally get it. Why don't you show a little empathy and understand where I'm coming from, all right? Because when he used it, it was awesome. So he used it in his Dritz Voltron deck. Now, that may sound like a weird choice to run this, but it worked really well. Most of his mana ramp is creatures, and then a lot of his buffs that he gives to Drizzt are cards like Bastion Protector and creatures that'll buff him. So the chance of the top card being a creature that shares a color with Drizzt is pretty high. And then this thing will just give Drizzt a 1/1, which isn't bad in a Voltron deck. It's a tiny buff, whatever. Where this thing really shined was when the top card of his library was like a meh creature or like a land, and he paid a green and a white 2-3 times to put the top card on the bottom, and eventually dug out a Black Blade Reforged or some huge equipment. But the fact that it was giving Drizzt a 1/1 buff at its worst, and it was digging up ways to give him a huge buff at its best, I really liked that, actually, and especially because you can use this at instant speed. But obviously where I think this thing really shines is a token deck. If you have a token deck that runs a lot of creatures, this thing will, 1, buff up your entire board for 1/1, which is great. And 2, like we said for the last deck, it'll help you dig up the pieces you need to help you bring home the game. There are no interesting rules interactions with this card, but this card interacts really good with cards that care about what the top card of your library is, like Descendant's Path, which lets you play cards that share a creature type with another creature you control off top, or cards that let you cast off top, like Reality Chip if you're in Bant. This card works awesome in an Amaranth deck, because Amaranth's all about the top card of your library being a specific card type. This also seems good in just like a straight up token deck like Rise. Can't go wrong with him. Crown of Convergence supplies a pretty good buff for your board, as well as manipulating what your draws are going to be. Your opponents get to know what it is, but if you're in a creature-based deck, most of the time your opponent's thoughts are going to be, it's probably a big creature on top anyway. So if you can confirm those thoughts, what's the difference really? Let me know if you played with or plan on playing with this card, and make sure to check out the comments for commanders or card interactions I missed, and go play some Magic.